Hi gang, Mr. Ed here for another episode of Mr. Ed Draws or Mr. Ed Bakes. I'm really not sure in this case. Now, am I suggesting that you light your crayons on fire? No. There's a good chance that you could catch something on fire that you don't want to be on fire. And I took the risk on myself, and if I burn something down, that's on me. So, if you want to do this, that's on you, but I'm telling you right now, there's a good chance you can catch something on fire whenever you use fire, because it's in its nature, of course. But that being said, I lit my crayons on fire. This is kind of an encaustic technique, except for in actual encaustic you have dishes with melted wax and you use brushes and stuff like that. There's an inlay technique where you use like a hard wax and then you melt that into whatever carvings or whatever you have. But this is kind of like the inlay without the inlay. So it's basically, I lit my crayons on fire. So I'm going to be working with this technique a little bit more. I used oil to get the colors to kind of mix a little bit more, kind of like color blending with acrylic and silicone and oil. So as I experiment with this more, I'm going to have more art. I kind of want to do something that's more than just abstract. I want it something like maybe a subject that I can do in colored wax. But basically I took the cheapest crayons I can find because they're mostly wax and a little pigment. There's not any fillers, clays, silicates, anything like that in there. So just grab the cheapest crayons you can find, and I use a handheld torch, and I'm pretty careful, if you have a bright light on it and as soon as you start to see smoke, you kind of want to back off. That's the clue that things are about to erupt into flames. And then have like a fire extinguisher and some, water or whatever handy just in case, because, luck favors the prepared. But if you take precautions and, it's just like wood burning or anything like that, there are dangers involved, of course, but you got to take risks. So yeah, I risked burning the house down and burning my neighbors out of their apartments, and not really, because I was pretty safe. There's a fire extinguisher right there, and I have some water, and I'm using a very controlled handheld blowtorch to kind of melt the wax, and I'm familiar with the amount of heat that this produces. So if you're not familiar with how things work like that, I wouldn't recommend that you use fire at all. If you want to become familiar with fire, then you need to use it in places that if it gets out of control, it's still controlled. That's like outside in an area that things can't catch on fire. So if you're going to light your crayons on fire, just be smart about it, be safe about it, and take the risk and try not to put others at risk. So if I can say anything about taking risks for art, it would be that. So this is pretty much the picture that I made, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you light anything on fire, I hope it turns out to be good. So until next time, you guys, take care.